I'm 39 male, a father to my daughter, 18 female. Let's call her Emma. My first wife and I were middle school sweethearts. Emma was a happy accident, and we were thrilled to be parents to her. But my wife died while giving birth to her. I had just graduated and started a job, and I failed to juggle a kid and the career. So I remarried in a year and a half to my second wife, 42 female. Let's call her Sam. She was also struggling raising her son, Tom, due to financial difficulties. It was a marriage of convenience, and we were very open about that. She would be stay-at-home raising both kids, while I would be financially providing for them. There were ups and downs along the road, but we made it work. Sam always gave her son preferential treatment, as in emotionally, which I never took issue with. After all, she was my daughter, not hers. But I always provided equally for both of them, cause I always felt obligated to be fair with both of them. There were not any major issues growing up. Both kids maintained a healthy relationship with each other, while maintaining a bit of distance. Both care for each other, and we never asked for more. My first wife and I both had an insurance policy. It was paid out when she died. For some reason, we once randomly talked about what we would do with money if one of us passed away. We both decided it would go to our kids, and if we didn't have a kid, then the surviving spouse would travel the world. I've kept that money in a trust that has grown over the age of 17 years and has been yielding significant profits, and now it's quite a bit of money. I've never borrowed even a penny from it because it belongs to my daughter, and I'm just a guardian. This year, both kids applied to colleges, and Emma got into one with a full scholarship. Our plan was if Emma did not get a scholarship, I will pay her tuition with the trust. Tom also applied to college and got admission, but without scholarship. He and I both discussed our options, and I told him that while I can help him out with living expenses while he pursues his studies, I can't afford the tuition without getting a massive hit. He was understanding and said that he will take a loan for it. It was settled then, or at least I thought it was. One night Sam asked me if I could pay her son's tuition with the payout. She knows the width of that policy. I was startled for a second, but I said I will think about it. I delayed it because I wanted to ask Emma whether she wanted to help Tom out, because I have always let her make her own decisions, as I feel it's the important part of parenting. I wanted to ask her alone without Sam present because Sam can be a bit pushy, and I wanted Emma to make decisions on her own without any pressure, because she is the sweetest kid who would rather be hurt than hurt anyone else. I explained the whole thing to my daughter and asked what she wants to do. She asked me what I think she should do, and I told her that I have no opinion, but no matter what decision she makes, it will not change anything between us. She will always be my world. She told me that she wanted to travel the world with me as her mom wanted, with half of the money, and invest the rest so she can have extra cash flow. She asked me for the weekend to think about it, which I was happy to give her. On the weekend, she texted me to come in her room. She asked me to explain the profit yields, the amount, and everything pertaining to the amount, which I did. After contemplating, she decided that she can pay for half of Tom's tuition while touring the world and maintaining a healthy cash flow. I stressed on her that if she does not want to do it, she does not have to. Tom is not her responsibility. But she said she wanted to help her brother out. During a family meeting, she told that to Tom in front of Sam and me. Tom teared up and hugged her and was very grateful. I noticed Sam was a bit off, but I ignored it. We all went out for dinner. In bed, Sam asked me who decided about Tom's tuition. I told her about the whole situation. Sam was shocked for whatever reason. She said that I didn't have to ask Emma and could have made the decision on my own, as it was not Emma's money. I told her in plain words that she does not get a say in that, since it was decided between me and Emma's mother what we would do with the money. Then she said, why didn't I involve her in the discussions with Emma? And by this time, I was at the edge, and I told her because it was none of her damn business. She said that she would talk to Emma, and Emma can pay for her brother's full tuition, and traveling the world is not necessary. I calmly, yet firmly told her that she would not say a word to Emma about this, and this matter is closed. After a week, I was out with my colleagues when I received a text from Tom that I should come home immediately. I rushed home. I was home in 10 minutes. Sam was shouting at Emma how she should pay for Tom's tuition, and Emma was crying. Tom was trying to calm his mother down and to get her to shut up, but to no avail. I told my wife to shut up and go to the bedroom as politely as I could, because I did not want to insult her in front of Tom, because after all, she was his mother. I picked Emma up and was taking her to her bedroom when I heard Sam yell, "You were always a monster! You K'd your mother while coming into this world!" And this was the end point. I told Sam that I'm going out and I will come back in 2 days, and she better be gone when I come back. I took Emma with me and asked Tom if he wanted to come with us. Tom was reluctant, but eventually came with us. I drove them to nearby Hilltown and got us checked in. Emma was crying all the way, and I let her after a few initial tries to calm her down. By next morning, we met for breakfast. Emma's eyes were swollen with crying, and Tom basically got to his knees and apologized for his mother's behavior. Emma told him that it was not his fault. We three had a heart-to-heart discussion once Emma and I had talked in privacy, where Emma was reassured that she wasn't responsible for anything. Emma will still be paying Tom's half tuition. I also talked to Tom and told him that I would be divorcing his mother, and there's no turning back from that. But that doesn't have to change my relationship with him unless he thinks otherwise. He asked me to consider my decision, and I asked him if what I was doing was unfair. He said no, and he understood. By the time we got home, my parents were already there and Sam was gone. My parents asked what happened, and apparently, Sam had fed them a half story, and I told them the whole tale. They were furious, but tried to lower the temperature and asked if there was any way to make amends. I told them that my decision is final. I've served Sam with papers with a fair amount of alimony along with one-bedroom apartment, since she made our home while I worked, despite the prenup, which eliminated any prospects of alimony or division of assets. In the meantime, our relatives and friends have asked me to reconsider it. While they do not condone what happened, they want me to make space for her. Sam also reached out to Emma and apologized for her behavior. Emma asked me to reconsider my decision as she has forgiven Sam and feels like there won't be any friction since she has already left for college. I'm not willing to roll back because whatever affection I had for Sam is gone. I don't think it will ever be the same if we got back together, and there is no changing this lack of feelings for her. So I'm asking objective and impartial Redditors for any advice on what to do here. After what Sam said to OP's daughter, I would divorce her. Seriously. OP is his daughter's only living parent. She relies on OP to defend her in all things. Sam showed her true colors over money that wasn't even hers. OP needs to let her go. OP doesn't need that in his and Emma's life. Disastrous Oven 4465 says, Yikes! A few things stick out. Marriage of convenience. Sam didn't really bond with Emma. Sam always favored her son. Sam thinking Emma has no say over her inheritance. How Sam berated Emma despite her generous offer to pay half for college. Then the topper, what Sam said about her K-ing her mom. Some things can never be taken back. Sam doesn't seem like a very caring person. I think you're doing the right thing and very generous offering alimony. Starry Dust 4444 says, You said your relationship was based on convenience. You both had your responsibilities. You would provide for the family, and she would raise the kids. You said yourself that you would try to be fair with both children when it came to financial support. You yourself could provide, but your wife gave preferential treatment to her son. Seems like she didn't hold up her end of the deal all these years while you did. Since it wasn't a love match anyway, and the kids are about to leave for college, seems logical to end it. The relationship served its purpose, and she's not a decent enough person to be a good companion to you beyond that. I, 35 male, met my soon-to-be ex-wife, 33 female, during uni 12 years ago. She already had a kid when she was 19, but the dad left as soon as she started uni. We were dating for 3 months before I met her daughter, Lisa. I remember seeing her family for the first time. I was nervous meeting her parents, but when I saw a little girl beside her mom, I was confused. I asked her if that was her little sister or a cousin of hers, and her answer shocked me. When she told me that that's her daughter, I thought I misheard her or something. At first, I wanted to dump her for hiding something so crucial from me, but she kept on begging for me to stay, and eventually I relented, and soon enough, I started to fall in love with her daughter and wanted to be her father figure. Our bond grew stronger over the years, and in early 2019, before the virus hit, we got married. In late 2021, I adopted Lisa, and in early 2022, my wife gave birth to our son, Mark. After my son was born, my wife made the choice to stay at home for the time being, and I was completely fine with that. Everything was going perfectly until a few months ago. I started noticing my wife increasingly spending time with her friends. At that time, I didn't say anything, since in my mind, being at home all day was probably eating at her, and I didn't want to seem controlling. The thing that made me suspicious was her constant texting and going out of the room for calls. She never did that for anyone besides this one friend of hers. I asked her about it, but she gave me some vague answers about gossip. The moment that took it too far, though, was when I came home last week and saw her outside talking on the phone. This wasn't out of the ordinary. I remember seeing my son on the floor crying alone. I was pissed at my wife for just leaving him alone in the house, but when I went to pick him up and smelt the horrible stench coming from him, I was beyond furious. His diaper seemed like it hadn't been changed since that morning. I quickly changed his diaper and rushed outside with him in my arms. I was beyond pissed. I snatched her phone from her hand and bolted back inside. I locked my wife outside to have a talk with this friend of hers alone. I had my suspicions about who it really was, and when I heard a male voice calling out her name and asking who was there, I immediately knew what was going on. He ended the call as soon as he heard my voice. I then proceeded to lock the front door to make sure my wife couldn't enter the house at all, and proceeded to screenshot as much of their chat as I could, and then sent them to myself before deleting them on her phone. About 5 minutes later, she was still banging on the glass door leading to the backyard. I reluctantly opened it and was met with a smack in the face. Remember, all of this is happening while I'm holding my toddler in my arms. As soon as she realized what she just did, she apologized profusely, started crying, and tried to hug me. I pushed her away and told her to meet me at the dining table. I told my daughter to quickly take care of the baby so me and her mom could have a quick chat. I just kept it simple. I told her this was her only chance to even have a sliver of a chance of getting me back. If she ducked this talk up, it was over on the spot. No lies, nothing. She kept on trying to apologize and to say it wasn't that serious. I reminded her that she not only screwed me over, she could have also easily done serious harm to our son by leaving him alone in the house like that. I then simply asked, who, for how long, and did they screw? She replied with her ex-boss Daniel, 6 months, and she didn't answer the last one, so I kept on reminding her that this was her last chance. She then just simply nodded. I then asked her if they used protection. To this, she started crying and started begging me for forgiveness. She said she would block him then and there, would never contact him again. I could screw any woman I want from now on, yada yada. I guess Lisa heard the commotion and came downstairs. I told her to go back up, but she just walked to my wife and asked if I knew about Daniel. Up to this point, I was calm, but upon hearing this, I swear, I even started tearing up. I asked Lisa if she knew all along, and she said yes. At this point, I'm full on crying, and I asked her why she didn't tell me. She responded with, because unlike you, Daniel buys me the things I want without having to beg. I then asked her how she could possibly do this to her dad. She responded with the "you're not my real dad" crap. My wife screamed at her upon hearing what she said. At that point, I couldn't bear any of this anymore. I just grabbed my son and got into the car. Me and my son are currently staying at my parents' house. I've basically been drinking myself to sleep every day. Thanks to the saint of a mother I have, my son is being taken care of right now. I'm beyond hurt. I've canceled my ex-daughter's private school tuitions, all her extracurricular activities, and I've contacted a divorce lawyer. He's going to serve my wife this Friday. My wife and Lisa have been blowing up my phone non-stop with apologies. I simply responded with, "Get a lawyer and tell that ungrateful thing of yours to start calling Daniel her dad. I'm disowning her." And then I blocked my wife. I didn't respond to Lisa. I just simply blocked her. I guess my wife told our friends what her and Lisa did, and now they've been texting me non-stop. They understand how I feel, but believe I'm going too far by divorcing my wife without hearing her out. They also keep telling me that disowning Lisa is definitely going too far, and she's only a kid and didn't understand what she was doing. I just can't get over the things she told me. I've worked my butt off to give my wife and daughter luxuries I could have only dreamed of as a kid, and now this is how I get paid back? Lisa, 13 years old, is old enough to understand that hiding her mom's affair is bad, and definitely purposely used those words to hurt me. But a part of me believes that there is still hope. A few family counseling sessions later, and we can go back to living the life I once considered a fairy tale. I'm beyond destroyed by this whole situation. A part of me just wants to see them burn in hell, but the other part of me believes there is still hope. Am I really going too far? Is there still hope? Am I the a-hole for disowning my daughter and divorcing my wife? Fitwork4558 says, I would get a DNA test on your son just in case. Initial by 7386 says, not the a-hole. I 100% get the hurt and feeling of betrayal. Your stepdaughter might only be 13, but was mature enough to hit you where it would hurt you the most when you were already down. I would stick with the divorce. Cheating is a deal breaker for me. You may be able to salvage the relationship with your daughter, But it's going to take real remorse on her part, or you'll always wonder if she's only apologized to get back in your financial good books. Big Par says, "You've done no fault. Your wife is the one at fault here, and a divorce is reasonable. Your daughter seems to act a bit odd to me. I feel like your wife might have trash-talked you to her behind your back. The hard thing is that she is in her teenage years, which will build resentment towards the parents. And if she can't be taught what is wrong and right, you probably won't hear from her until when she realizes it in her 20s. But you don't have to stay anymore unless you want to push for custody. All you can do is stay the kid's father and say you're there to talk to her when she wants, and hopefully she will realize it and gravitate towards you.